Hey everybody, what's better than one photographer? Two photographers. Today in studio we have Sarah Irvin, Melissa Kincaid. Welcome to 15 Minutes to Frame.
Preview.
So thanks for coming by today, guys. I appreciate you, taking time out of your busy schedules just to stop in and talk to us and talk to the brides and grooms out there maybe planning a wedding.
Thanks for having us.
Cool, thanks. So now we're in the off season. Here it is. End of January. So what are you guys doing now? You're not doing too many weddings right now, or whatever. But I know you have a wedding this weekend. We'll talk more about that. But
Okay.
what are you guys doing these days? What's up?
I'm just taking some downtime. I'm organizing my office, and then I'm planning shoots that I have from now until my first wedding in May.
In May. Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and then I still have one wedding that I'm still editing. So
Oh, cool. So how
we'll
about
get
you?
that in.
I'm just playing catch up.
Playing catch up.
Catching up with uploading my galleries, fixing my website, just trying to make this next year easier on myself.
Right. I see a lot of Facebook reels coming, or reels
Yeah.
and YouTube and all that. So you're
Yes.
big on that. So
I try.
you try.
I'm a little awkward, but I try.
No, they're great. That's how people get to know you.
Yeah.
And Sarah, we talked about that earlier before we
Yeah.
got on, and I feel like it's good for anybody to do that. That way, the audience can see, the brides and grooms can see you guys and kind of feel like they get to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why, I wanted to do this show is just so people could see us, different vendors, to give people an opportunity to, get in front of the screen a little bit and let people see who we are. As, our personalities. Hopefully, our personalities will show through in this little chat because we know each other very well.
Yeah. Well, and you do video, so it's a little easier for you. But now photo, the biggest thing for us right now is like TikTok and Reels.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we have to do video instead of just posting
Right.
pretty
And we
photos.
like being behind the camera.
Yes.
We don't like
Never
being in front.
of the camera.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, it's different being on this side. So it's kind of nice because now we can kind of get a sense for what our couples are feeling whenever we are, behind our lens. They're kind of feeling a little bit of anxiety because, they're the spotlight. And, so it's kind of good for us to kind of trade places, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So now you got both of you all do more than just weddings. So somebody go first, but tell us what you do.
You go ahead.
Go ahead.
I do family and maternity. My favorite is probably boudoir sessions.
I didn't really know that about
Really?
you. Yeah, I didn't know you did boudoir a lot, and I
yeah.
didn't know it was one of your favorites.
I started out doing mostly that, and it was, in like my parents' spare bedroom 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so now I have a little studio on my property, and I do a lot of things there, which I like that. I like maternity. We do family, some newborns, which you're getting into.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So how about you? What do you?
I love weddings. If I have any free time, I will do some maternity. I will do some families. But I'm getting ready to start offering newborn, and I'm excited about that.
Cool.
Because it's a new adventure for me.
So now you guys, I know you have a little studio space at your home, and you're. I mean, I guess like newborns, where would you do something like that at?
I'm actually going to come to your studio.
Perfect. So, but other places as well, and you probably will do somebody's home too, maybe. Is that an option?
Lighting conditions
Lighting.
I'm a little bit worried about,
Right.
so I'd have to evaluate each person personally before I make a decision.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do like a lifestyle newborn,
Yeah.
just like snuggling.
Yeah. Cool. So let's talk about styles a little bit. So you two are very, very different in style. So I know when a bride reaches out to me, if they haven't already booked a photographer, oftentimes, video is sort of an extra, an add-on if there's money left after these two don't take it all. But anyway, so they'll ask, what photographer do you recommend? And, so my first question is, okay, what is your style? So you go first. What is your style?
I have a film aesthetic. I actually shoot 120 film with my digital. I'm a little bit bright area, I guess you call it, but it still has those deep tones that matches the film.
Okay, so not 100% bright and airy or light and airy, but right, so more filmic a little bit.
Yeah, true colors, blacks.
Right. So a little bit, kind of a hybrid, I guess, between.
Yes.
And then yours, I know, we've used Sarah for years for our kids and stuff like that, different times. So yours is more true to color and more bright.
Yeah, I say it's more true to color. I want it to look like that photo, but elevated,
Right.
a
Yeah.
little bit better.
You make it pop a little bit
yeah.
more, something like that.
A little poppy, contrasty. I want it to, still look amazing in 10 years. It's not just something that is trendy.
Trendy, yeah.
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 Sometimes people do, they get into a groove and it's certain edits and it looks beautiful, but then you think, is this going to still be great?
Maybe like
when your grandkids
like
are looking at it.
Yeah, completely other end of that is like a dark and moody style.
Yeah.
So that is definitely trendy, and some people may love that forever, but some people, it may.
It's very timeless.
Yeah, it's going to be timeless.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess in video side, we don't really get asked a lot, what our style is. They just kind of see it is more true to color. It's more like, I guess it probably closely resembles your stuff more. And I know you had a bride recently ask about bright and airy video.
Yes.
And, I just haven't seen many, but we could certainly do it, but it'd be a little bit of a learning curve for us to not knowing how to shoot it, but just, setting our cameras up differently,
Yes.
and keeping that in mind during the day that we would have to shoot differently. So it is possible. Well, anyway, so you have bunches of weddings booked already for this year, both of you, or
I have 17 so far.
17?
I think I have 16 so far.
Cool. So, what is your max? What's the most you want to do? I know, it's different for you all than it is for us, but
Last year I did 23.
Okay.
And it wasn't bad. I just had so many in October. I had 10 in October.
October's
And
tough.
then once you start editing and, it's getting into the holiday season,
Right.
it's just a little bit more stressful.
It kind of bleeds over into
Yeah.
Thanksgiving and all that. Yes. And your editing time, the turnaround time is roughly how long?
I usually say 8 weeks
Okay.
for all other months besides October. Then I say
Yeah.
10 weeks.
It slows down
Yeah.
a little bit more. And then you have,
I took 20 weddings in 2018. I'm sorry, I took 25 weddings in 2018, and now I will not take more than 20.
Yeah.
Oh.
My kids are in sports. They have a
Yeah.
lot going on, and I don't want to miss everything.
I know
Yeah.
I know for a fact that I've been with you a few times this year, and there's a football game going on,
Yeah.
or whatever, and you're like, you're calling, you're texting your husband, and you're getting updates, and people are sending you photos and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know, it's tough for a mom, being both of you all moms,
Yeah.
so, and you both have young kids. It's different for me. My kids are older; they don't really need dad anymore. But I do know that 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when I kind of first, I guess back in 2015, my daughter, one of my girls was still in travel softball, and I was a big softball player. But like there was times that I would turn weddings down because we had travel ball tournaments, and then a couple times we would have a wedding, and then we had a travel ball tournament, and my wife was sending me information, about the day, and I was, my heart was not really at the wedding. Sometimes it was at there, but it's all changed now. But those days are over for me. But
It was a
it's tough.
hard transition for me at first,
Right.
but I would just like my clients to see they're that important to me that I can step away from that on the weekend just to serve
Right,
them.
right, absolutely, yeah. Wow, it's just you have to learn to adjust your lifestyle, your personal lifestyles with your professional. That's just what you do for
Yeah.
Your income, plus it's what you do for what you enjoy doing. You guys love weddings and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
We love weddings.
yeah, awesome. So now you guys do. You two are friends. And did you? Were you all friends before you started? I noticed. Well, back up. You guys started traveling together a lot during all these styled shoots all over the place. So were you all friends before that, or that kind of started a friendship?
It started a friendship. I mean, I definitely knew of her. And she tagged me in a styled shoot on Instagram. And I was like, and it was in Dallas. It was a Dallas shoot.
Yeah.
So I messaged her and I was like, are you going to this? And she's like, I will if you will. So, and that just started from there.
I had met her one time before that, and I just got along with her so well that I was like, I could travel with her, no big deal.
That's cool.
And it wasn't awkward. We had a good time.
That's good. Well, yeah. See, I think I've done 3 or 4 that I know of together, right? And
Went to
the-
Dallas and Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yep.
And then we've done some little ones.
And it's fun having a travel buddy
Yeah.
that you can just call up and be like, I couldn't do it. Let's go do it.
So I know the answer to this, I think, but why do you do that? Why do you do the styled shoots? It kind of, you get more content, but not just that. like I know, for example, I told you, I think, that there was one wedding that you and I shot together, and you was just freshly off of a styled shoot, and like, wow, it's like Sarah, this is a different Sarah. Not that the bad Sarah before was bad. I'm just saying that like this is like super creative, like way more creative than what it was in past time, and it had, I think that styled shoot really, just I don't know, gave you kind of ignited you a little bit.
Yeah, I think. Well, this was my 10th year in business, and I think I just kind of got. You go through the motions, you get to where you're comfortable, you can do all these things. And I think it was just after I did that first style shoot, it was like, oh, I need to, take this up.
Right.
I could be doing, and Melissa is already, doing, more luxury type weddings. And I was just like, I need to be doing.
Everybody has their different, things they like to do. So,
Yes.
so luxury weddings. So where are most of your clients booking you for? Like what kind of weddings?
Most of my weddings I actually have to travel out of state to
Okay.
at this point, but they are luxury. They are beautiful weddings, and I think
We're talking black tie, gala type
yes,
events, at like golf country clubs and nice huge resorts,
Yes.
stuff like that, right?
and I think those styled shoots kind of show your range where you're not always getting those weddings, so you can show your clients like, hey, if I get it,
I can do it.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And then so I know you do. We've shot a ton of weddings at Great Creek Farms this year.
Yeah.
With a rustic barn style, but I mean you do other stuff too. But is that what your clientele mostly picks you up? Your weddings are mostly that.
I shoot a lot at Glade Creek. We love it there. Mia Bella. Those are a lot of my weddings for the whole year. And then I'll have like a couple
Wow.
out of town. But
Yeah.
Melissa's like traveling everywhere.
We shot. Of course, my company's different from you girls. It's just you two, right? So separately, but like we have 13 teams. So we did like over 200 weddings last year, but we shot at 146 different venues.
wow.
So that's ranging from backyards to libraries to a boat in Pittsburgh to golf clubs, whatever. So we see a lot. But Glade Creek Farm, we shot there 9 times last year, so it's one of our most popular venues.
Oh,
So
yeah. We love it there.
I just booked one the other day for Glade Creek Farm. So
That's such a nice place for a wedding. Like everything's taken care of. The owners are wonderful. You don't stress throughout the day.
right,
Well, that's the thing too. Booking somewhere that is smaller and like more family owned
Yes.
versus somewhere. I always tell people, like if they say, "Oh, we're booking here," I'm like, "Oh, the owners are so wonderful and they will do anything for you." That and Mia Bella, with their team, you just can't get any.
You know you're gonna have a good day.
Yeah.
that's right. That's true, and that's a good point because like you do go to a resort, a big country club or something out of state or something, and I've shot them too, and you don't know who the owners are, so and they're not even there, and it's all about the money for them. They don't really
Yeah.
care about us as a vendor. They care about the bride and the groom having a good experience. Well, part of the bride and the groom having a good experience is us providing them, their creative, the video and photo,
Yep.
and the DJ. I mean, all the way down to hair and makeup. So if that vendor is not having a good day, that's going to reflect into their work.
Yeah.
And simple things like, and I've mentioned this time and time before, like being fed. I mean, I've been tucked away in a broom closet, and fed a cold lunch.
Yeah.
So we changed our contract, but the bride and groom never really know about those situations. It's it's just the wedding, the venue that does it, and we're not going to go and go tell the bride. We're not going to do that, because we're professionals. We're just going to power through it. But venue owners, please take care of your vendors, take care of your creative team.
Yeah.
Well, it makes such a difference whenever they specifically come to you and say, "Do you need anything?
Yeah.
What can I do for you?"
Right. Yeah, like Gail Ray, she's going to be on the show next week, and
Okay.
so she has Mia Bella Grand, so we'll give her an early plug. But her team is one of the best
Amazing.
I've ever run
It's
across,
amazing.
and they're local to us. So we're I'm in Oak Hill, West Virginia, but we travel Florida all the way to New York City. I know Melissa travels and Sarah travels too, but and then Mia Bella, one of the best places we've worked at, and it's just I don't know, an
Right
hour
through
away
it,
from
yeah.
here, 45 minutes. So,
Yeah.
we really appreciate that venue.
I had a wedding this year, and it was at the Hotel Roanoke, and they had a separate room for us where we could eat.
Right.
And then we were like one call away from the coordinator. So as soon as they started to do something, we got to go back. But it was nice to have that little bit of privacy while we
Yes.
eat to regain our strength. And
Well, we've shot and at the Greenbrier. You and I shot at the Greenbrier, and did they put us in
Yeah,
a room?
in a separate room.
yeah,
Yeah, they put us in a room in a separate location, and the coordinator was very in tune with what was going on, and you know I was in there once with the band, so I knew that with the band with us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we knew that nothing was going to happen without the band.
Yeah.
So we were safe. So we felt at ease just to kind of relax a little bit, get away,
Yeah.
Regroup, and check our cameras and all that. So that really does make a world of difference on us having a.
Yes.
and
a
we're so
venue
high
that cares.
stress all day, like making sure we get everything right. It's nice to have that time to calm down
Yeah.
and
Well,
refocus.
Right, because we don't really have downtime during the day. We're shooting all day, and I mean, if we go from one place to the next, we might have a snack on our back. I know you pull snacks out all the time.
Low blood sugar.
Right, so I mean, me and Sam, or whoever I have with me, we usually keep a cooler, and if you see me, I'm usually drinking a Sprite on the wedding day, so
Yep.
I'm always offering it to everybody. So, it's a tough day. So dinner time is important to us.
Yes.
Yes.
But
And me being gluten free, I've had a lot of brides that see that and they'll message me like, the caterer's made a specific plate for you that's not been touched by gluten.
That's so nice.
And that's really thoughtful.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we do get asked a lot, like, do you have any dietary restrictions? And I see that more this year, or end of last year and this year than I have, or coming into this year than I have any other time. So I guess I think, maybe some awareness is being, put out there that
Yeah.
take care of your vendors.
Well, I feel like we talk to our couples so much throughout the year, even getting there, then you really are friends with them by the end, or you get to know them. And so, and they know that we're going to be working with them closely all day long. And we're going to see you more than your bride or groom, you
Right,
know.
exactly.
So,
yeah.
We have to have that trust.
Right.
I've been very blessed because a lot of my coordinators are all about me getting to know them and interacting personally. And I know sometimes coordinators, they like to go through them and they take care of everything. So it's really nice that I'm able to have that. They're running everything, but I'm still able to get to know them, so I know what they want.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we was at a wedding. Well, Sam was at a wedding recently in Roanoke, Virginia, I believe it was. And anyway, so it was a New Year's Eve wedding. So they had a coordinator, and he reached out to us, gave us timeline and all that. And then we had a photographer come in, and it wasn't the greatest experience with us, but the photographer, he said, "Oh, well, I have my own timeline. I'm going to do my own thing." So like those two were butting heads,
Yeah.
and we were like not privileged to the photographer's timeline because it was brought out that day, and so Sam was a professional, so he's able to mitigate through all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, somebody else that's not as professional or not, as outgoing as he was may struggle in a situation like that. So it's good that like you get to know your coordinators and have that relationship and chat. Like we do Zoom meetings and stuff like that before the wedding happens, and we try to do that this year. Well, last year we tried to incorporate that with the photographer too, like if it's somebody we haven't worked with, and just so they can understand what we're giving the bride and groom as their deliverables, and so we can understand what they have, their equipment they may have. I mean, it's better if we just chat,
And it's frustrating if you have that one person that isn't, cooperative because you all have the same goal in the end.
Right. We always say, what do we say? Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
So whether I'm working with you, or working with you, So I mean, that's very true. I mean, and that goes with. I mean, you have to have a good DJ. If you have a DJ that we're off eating and the DJ starts doing toast, because the bride says, "Hey, we're ready for toast." Well, she doesn't really know. It's her first wedding. She doesn't really know to come and find us.
Yeah.
So she's going to him. He's kind of emceeing the whole event, and then all of a sudden you start hearing. This has happened to me. You'll hear a toast going on. You're like, wait a minute, I'm not in there. So
I had a event this year that the DJ came to me and said, "We're going to do the sparkler exit." And I said, "Okay, I just need a minute to set my lights up and then we'll be ready."
Right.
So while I was setting the lights up, she went ahead and did it anyways. and that was devastating to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
She called me.
Yeah, I cried.
You called her
I was devastated. I was devastated.
because you missed the shot.
She was like, I was
Yeah.
getting my flash. Yeah.
and it wasn't
Well-
any fault of your own, but and we
was a
had Go ahead, I'm
miscommunication.
sorry.
Well, word of mouth is everything. So if you have a bad experience with another vendor, because we all are, it's like, we're like little building blocks for that day, and we're all trying to, build the same thing.
Right.
So if you do not have a good experience with another vendor, you're never going to want to work with them again. You will never, recommend them for anything. So
And if you do, you're worried the whole day.
yeah.
You're stressed.
Yes.
I've never had a problem with you guys, and I can't imagine anybody having any trouble with you all. But people do have different personalities. But like, have you ever had any troubles with other videographers? And don't name names, but have you? I've had trouble with photographers. Some photographers, video's sort of new. It's sort of a extra add-on luxury thing, and we a lot of times some photographers don't see us as important. They only care about what their work is. And I think once they realize what we're doing and they see our work, then they're like, well, okay, these guys are a different level. But everybody starts somewhere. So it doesn't matter if they're a newcomer, a new photographer, or videographer. I've worked with photographers that are, shot 2 weddings, and I just shot 2 last weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm as nice to them. I hope I am, and if I ever am not, let me know. Check me out.
Yeah.
But bring me down. But I'm always nice to them, just like I would be to you guys.
Yeah.
Because I started there too. So
yeah.
videographers. Have you had issues with videographers in the past?
I had an issue this year. My assistant was 7 months pregnant,
Ooh.
and he was backing into her to get her out of the way because he wanted to stand there. And I am very professional, but at the same time, I had to be direct to stand up for her because that's very inappropriate.
Yes.
Not only that she's a woman, but the fact that she's pregnant,
Right.
and he's pushing her out of the way.
It's kind of like a basketball move, kind of boxing her out.
Yes. Yes.
So, and then
I've had 2. One was years ago, but he would be directly across from me, like during the dances and things.
Yeah.
And so at the end, and it was only like his 5th wedding. So at the end, I was like, hey, sometimes it's just better if we're on the same side. You can even be like as close to me as you need to be. And then that way we're not in each other's shots, and, we're getting the same great footage. And he was just very
Just didn't want
rude.
to
He's like,
hear it.
He said, well, this is how the professionals have, shown me how to do it. Okay.
He watched videos. From,
Yeah. And then another one was, he just was very, it's just like I was not there. He had a drone team with him, and I was speaking to the guys in the drone team, and he just came over and started talking to the guys like I was not there, interrupted. And it was to where I went home and I thought, there need to be more female videographers, because I've never been, besides another, female photographer.
Right. Yeah.
I've never been treated like that.
Right.
So, but then it's like, why would I ever recommend you? I don't, because we always have a good time. I know you two always have a good time. It's, a party, but we work together so much and we mesh so well.
That's right.
I try to set the tone with videographers when they first get there. I tell them, when we're doing the kiss, we'll stand beside each other. Everybody's going to get it. If you need something, tell me to stop. And it's frustrating when you're showing that respect to someone and they're not showing it back to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. Like, I will, purposely, like, I don't want to take over. I don't think, anybody is in charge, but you're both there, like I say, common goal. So, my style, and I tell all my guys, this is what we want to do. The photographer, needs that still shot. Well, we're capturing videos. So while she's setting up, he or she's setting up for that still shot, some photographers will do some motion, but, at the end of the day, you may want that bride and groom to look at the camera. Well, we may not want that.
Yeah.
So, but like, and y'all both experienced it, I'll be like, okay, let's use Lexi and Tyler for an example, one of ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, Melissa sets Lexi up, and then she'll have Tyler kind of have a little pose. And I'm like, okay, Tyler, step back and recreate that pose.
Yes.
And then usually, it's usually a better shot. At least it is for me, and sometimes it is
Oh,
for
and I'm
you,
able
but-
to gain that too.
Right, because it's more right. You're getting that shot. Not only you're getting the still shot that you set up, but you're
Yes.
getting the candid shot. And then sometimes I've found that people move more freely and more naturally to their own character and how they usually move.
Yep.
Whenever they just kind of do it themselves and not being placed. So
Yes.
So that that's how we work.
Well, even feeding off of each other, I feel like now I try to do that more whenever I'm working
You
with
do.
you. I try to add more movement in, or I'll say, okay, this is what I want from you, but like start, hands down, and then go into the
And you
the
do,
shot.
yeah, and I appreciate that, and all my guys appreciate that. So just having that little bit of motion, and we shoot in 120 frames per second or 60 frames per second, so we can take all that footage and slow it down to 20-40%. So we just need a little tiny bit of that, and that little bit of motion, even if he's rubbing her shoulder
Yeah.
or something like that. That little bit is just
One
so
of my
nice.
favorite photos, I was working with you, and you told the couple just to stop and canoodle, is what you said.
Canoodle, that's my word.
And it was so romantic.
Do you
It's one of
remember
my
the couple?
favorite. It was Melissa and Adam.
Oh my gosh!
Yep.
Hold on, at Athena.
Yes.
At Athena, I remember seeing.
Yes,
Remember.
that's
So,
one of my
Dream
favorite
team,
pictures.
dream
Yes, if you need a videographer, you need Rob.
So, but
Well, even like moving in or something, if we're doing the wide shots, and I'll say, okay, do you want to move in? I'm ready to move in.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like giving courtesy
yeah,
to
yeah,
each other.
we've worked together a lot. We'll just kind of look at each other. We just
wanna
kind of
go?
know. Want to move in, and I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And then if there's something you need, I always, I have a lot of times. If you've been to our weddings, if anybody's seen us, we'll take a small gimbal, and then we'll put it in the center sometimes. But I'll
Yeah.
always ask, okay, hey, did you get you a wide shot? Are you good? I'm gonna put this down for a while. I'll get it before the kiss or whatever, or we'll go up and grab it during the rings or something. Just communication and.
I'll be the first to tell you. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. So if you got to, tell me to pause so you get what you need, I'm not going to be offended.
Oh no.
Or instead of like running out the time, if you have those few minutes left, and say, is there anything else that you need to get?
Yeah.
Like, let's
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, okay, we're done. And
Yeah, right.
bye.
Speak up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All my newer guys, I always tell them, look, don't be shy. Melissa's not going to bite. Sarah's not going to bite. I'll just speak up and both sides, photographers, videographers, talk to each other. That's
Yeah.
what's going to make that wedding day so much easier for you two. You're going to build a relationship, and then the bride and the groom are going to have a great product in the end whenever that happens. So
I feel like when we work together, though, we actually enjoy the day.
We do.
Like we can enjoy what's going on and not
Yes.
be stressed. And
exactly.
Especially if you're doing more, the local weddings, and then you see even the same vendors, like the same florist and
Yeah.
and things, and you
Yeah.
get to be friends with people.
You do. Like we'll go to a wedding and we'll run into like Key to Adam, and the Key immediately will just run up to you and she'll just give you a big old hug, So we like working with
Yeah.
each other, and
Yeah.
I can't really think of anybody I don't like, right offhand. But we've had some issues with some people, but it's at the end of the day, I really believe it's people just not. They need to learn. They need to be schooled on, in a nice way about like what it is that we're trying to do,
Yeah.
And but we have run into that one photographer Sam had in Virginia. He was pretty obnoxious. So
Yeah.
we don't ever want to see him that guy again.
You're not just like there's no star of the show.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I think that sometimes people can, because they're like, oh, this is my whole business, so I have to go in and I'm going to be the person. But it is just it really is a team. Everybody
Yeah.
coming together.
It's not I want to look good. We all want to
Yeah.
look good.
Yes.
It's like a basketball team. There's, you usually have one guy or whatever that's sort of like, let's just use Michael Jordan back in the day,
Yeah.
way past, I'm showing my age now. But anyway, but he had without those other key members on the team, Michael Jordan couldn't be who he is. You know what I mean? So same kind of thing. We can't be as good as we are without the help of everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just a big teamwork effort. So I guess that almost wrapped up our show. But so tell me a little bit about how can someone. We'll start with you, Melissa. How can someone find you, get a hold of you? Instagram, Facebook, social media. What do you have?
Primarily, I'm booking through Google.
Google,
People just
okay.
Google local
Just like
photographers.
Okay.
Yep.
Like through
I'm
your
on
website?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm on Facebook and Instagram. It's Melissa Kincaid Photography. I am a little bright and airy, so if that's what you're looking for, I'm your girl. If not, this is your girl.
Sarah, take a look.
I book mostly through Facebook still.
Okay.
I know I'm trying to do more on Instagram, but
We want to see more of Sarah on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Everybody? So we want to see more
Reels.
reels. So
I know this is my first step to getting in front of the camera.
perfect.
So.
Good. Yeah.
But it is
Glad to be a part.
Sarah Irvin Photography, Irvin, and on Insta. And then last year, I think it was you that made me want to like up my website too.
Yeah.
So now
Wow.
I've got a website.
And you have such a big, like, sweet personality. Like, you need to show that to everybody.
Oh my goodness.
We want people to see both of you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for our couples to get to know us, and what better way to do that than, go on camera and show them who you are. And
Yep.
I hate doing it too, but I'm to the point now where I just don't want to book a wedding unless they speak to me.
Yeah.
Whether by Zoom meeting or by at least by phone call, because a lot of our brides are like yours, are out of state,
Yeah.
and before they spend that money with you, let's make sure we're compatible. Let's make
Yeah.
sure we like
I
each
used to
other.
dread Zoom calls. I was like, they're going to see my double chin. I'm not sitting up straight. And it got to the point where I was like, you know what? That's silly.
Right.
I want to get to know them. They want to get to know me.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to.
Right, that's awesome.
That's
Cool. I think that's it, guys. If you have any questions about this show, anything we talked about, or whatever, have questions for them individually, please feel free to reach out to them. I will have their contact information, the websites, all that good stuff in the description below. I think that's it. You guys good?
Thank
Yep.
you.
All right. See ya.
Bye.